Welcome again to Life in the God Lane. I'm Tom West. Hope you'll subscribe to my little video channel here, my YouTube channel. Give me thumbs up, hit the little bell so you get notified every time I roll another one of these out. I get one out every day. And this is a power verse. I'm back to Matthew Classics again, and this is Matthew 5:21 through 22. And these are the power verses for December 16th, 2021. Hope they bless your life. Give me thumbs up, make comments, help me get this out to as many people as you can. Send the video to someone. Maybe it'll be a blessing to them and they'll hook up and begin receiving this teaching from God's Word. So how can we nip sin in the bud? Or how can we stop it before it gets started and wrecks things? Jesus had some ideas about that in the Sermon on the Mount. And I want to look at Matthew 5:21 and 22. And Jesus, speaking in the midst of that great sermon, the Sermon on the Mount, "You've heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'Do not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment.'" In fact, they lose their life for murdering. "But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to his brother, 'Raka,' is answerable to the Sanhedrin. But anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of the fire of hell." Jesus starts off by pointing out that people long ago said, "You shall not murder." In fact, commandment number 6 in the 10 Commandments said, "You shall not murder." And there was a price that you paid for that. You lost your life. Exodus 20 verse 13 is where that 6th 10 Commandment pops up. So how do we nip the sin of murder in the bud? How do we stop it before it gets started? That's an important concept. Jesus says that we must not be angry with our brother, because if we are, we're subject to judgment. Now, what does that have to do with murder? Well, folks, people who murder are usually people who get angry with other people, and then they end up murdering them. Murder begins with anger. So look at what else Jesus says. Anyone who says to his brother, "Raka," is answerable to the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin was the law. It was the Jewish council. It took the religious and the judicial thing and put it together. It was all in one place, but it stood for the law. And you'd be subject to judgment from the law. If you said "Raka" to someone, you're calling them empty and worthless. Raka is a put down. How often do people put people down today? Don't put people down. Why? Well, it leads to conflict, and conflict leads to what? Murder. So stop it before it gets started. To call a person a fool is the same kind of a thing, a little more blatant, and it leads to conflict, and conflict leads to murder. Stop it before it gets started. We would stop a lot of sins before they started if we learn to avoid anger and learn to avoid verbal put-downs. We'd stop a lot of stuff that wrecks it. We'd stop divorces. We'd stop murders. We'd stop beatings. And a lot of nonsense that goes on. Anger leads to being mouthy, and that leads to conflict, and that can even lead to the sin of murder. Ask God for help with anger and stop a lot of sin in its track. Just a piece of advice from the mouth of Jesus. I will talk to you tomorrow.